Tired of the everyday grind? Want to get away from it all? Descend into paradise. Florida.
Greetings, everybody, from sunny Florida. Here's wishing you the best of everything. And it's my personal belief that the best of everything comes from right down here.
Well, hey, everybody, this is Steph from JustADayInParadise.com, and thanks for tuning into this week's episode of Just a Podcast in Paradise, the Florida Show. Me and the Dip Crew love living in the Sunshine State, and it's our goal to help you plan for your very own day in paradise. Follow along as we explore the Keys, theme parks, springs, and everything in between. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button so we can notify you when our new episodes are live. Also, be sure to follow the links in our show notes to dive even deeper in the discussion and fun after the show. As you know, we're always going to have a drink with you, and today we're enjoying a cocktail that I've named the Gator Punch. We're ready if you are, so kick up your feet, throw on your shades, and let's take a trip to paradise. Hello, Megan and Garrett.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Greetings and also salutations
And good tidings.
of great joy. Wait, that's for the Christmas episode.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Steph, I noticed you started saying the Florida Show.
I did. You want to know why?
Because you just found out this was a good show to listen to if you're from Florida?
Yeah, well, I knew that. But a little thing called search engine optimization. Just a Podcast in Paradise wouldn't necessarily tell you that the show's about Florida. So I changed the name in iTunes to Just a Podcast in Paradise, the Florida Show.
Huh.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. And we've gotten a lot more listeners since then. So
Wow.
if you search for Florida shows on iTunes, thanks for tuning in.
I was thinking that I've gotten to the point where I literally say it with you and you're like,
Yeah.
kick up your feet, throw on your shades, and let's take a trip to paradise.
And then there we go. There we go. That's
And we're
that's the
off.
tagline.
There we
Zinger.
go.
So if you tuned in last week, you saw that we had a Dip Crew rewind of our Shark Week episode. Rewind. That was a good episode.
It was.
It was in the long
fun one.
ago, in the before time,
crazy.
because Maggie had emergency that you had to miss.
I did.
So we rescheduled this interview for today. And so Gator Punch
Megan's okay, though.
was supposed to be. Oh yeah, are you okay?
I'm totally fine.
Everyone was worried.
It was a false alarm.
Okay. So it was going to be different ingredients, but that's the thing. So it's kind of like a tiki drink.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about them is it's kind of like just a mess of tropical ingredients. So if I served you this and called it Gator Punch, would you be like, okay, I get it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
I wish that there
delicious.
was like a gator, like
Oh, like,
you know, like
Like a candy,
gummy
like
gator.
a gummy
like-
candy, yeah, coming out
'cause
of because there's mint garnish.
I think
so.
Meg-
If he was in there,
I
that
think
would be
Steph
cool.
has some of those lying around. She probably should have put them on
I should,
Yeah.
but you know, we're on a budget here, so I can't
Like
just
maybe like a gator,
emergency order
like,
candy.
You know, those little like gator paws and stuff that you can buy. Really gross.
Ew.
That would be
Yeah.
cool. Or drink it out of an alligator head that you got at a gas station somewhere in
There's got to be like a gator tiki mug.
Oh, there's got to be.
Yeah, we'll find one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If you know where we can find a gator tiki mug, hit us up at the Dip Crew on Twitter. This week, as you can probably tell, it's gonna be all about gators.
I'm
Florida
surprised having, the Florida show for what, a year and a half probably?
Yeah, this is our 53rd
Holy
episode.
crap.
53
Yeah.
episodes, and we've never done
A
an
show about
episode on
gators.
gators.
So let me tell you what made me think of it and why we should do this. So there was a news story a couple of weeks ago that said a little something like Florida man steals alligator from golf course, tries teaching it a lesson by throwing it on the roof of a bar. Did you hear about this?
I didn't, and I have statements and questions.
Okay, well, I don't have all of the information, but I do know that the gator is safe.
Oh, good.
And the last I checked, the guy was in custody.
What did he mean by like teaching it a lesson for what? Existing in a golf course?
natural
Or-
habitat?
Okay.
Yeah, like he literally just got...
And
Yeah.
he put it on the roof of a bar to be like, look at this, look at what is not your natural habitat.
Yeah, I'll show you.
I'll show you in a natural habitat.
Right. And at the end of the day, alligators are one of the amazing creatures that call Florida home. Like any predator, the more you know about them, the more you can safely coincide with and even admire them. So on today's show, we'll be inviting on our friend Alligator Frank or Alligator Robb. We're going to have to ask him.
Okay.
We're going to ask him more specifically. What do you prefer? What is the correct way to address an alligator wrangler? And he's going to teach us all about our official state reptile. Were you going to say something?
I prefer Alligator Frank. It seems like
I do
more
too.
on brand.
But his social media says Alligator Robb, so we're gonna get to the bottom of this. And then later in the show, we're gonna go over all the places you can safely observe the magnificent Florida gator. Stay tuned.
Ooh.
Cool.
Hey, Steph. Thanks for picking me up for drinks.
No problem. I saw there's this new cocktail bar that just opened. I thought we could try.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Here it is.
Ooh, gosh, this place looks exotic.
Wow, this place looks great. I feel like we've been transported to Havana or something.
I know, the energy here is like electric. Let's grab a cocktail and get the party started. I think that's the bartender. With her back to us. Excuse me, we would like a drink, please.
Whoa. Alyssa, is that you?
Oh, hey guys, I'm so happy to see you.
Us too, but what are you doing here?
Well, I found these bottles of Big Five rum and I just felt inspired to start mixing things up, you know? So I make myself this cocktail.
Uh-huh.
It's amazing. And next thing I know, I'm in this awesome social club surrounded by all these hip people and everyone wants some of my quality libations, you know? Here, try this and you'll get it.
Okay, bottoms up.
Wow, Alyssa, this is incredible. Such bold flavors and quality ingredients. It makes me want to kick back and celebrate.
No kidding. It's like a vacation in a glass. Alyssa, what's your secret?
I'm telling you, it's the Big Five rum, inspired by the social clubs of Havana in the 1950s. Big Five rums embody the laid-back, upbeat energy of Cuba's bustling social scene. Oh, and it's made in Florida, you guys.
Florida made.
Cuban inspired.
Enjoyed anywhere. Pick up a couple bottles and enjoy $5 off at big5rum.com using promo code JUSTADIP.
Cheers.
Cheers! All right, everybody, thanks for coming back after our break. Next up, like I promised, we're very excited. We have Alligator Robb. He's a Florida native that has worked professionally with wildlife for 26 years. He's caught crocodilians for FWC, NASA, and DoD, capturing as many as 400 animals a year. He's published 2 books, The Adventures of Chicago Chance and Our American Alligator. He even has his own bobblehead, which I'm pretty jealous of. So welcome on to the show, Alligator Robb.
Howdy. Thank you all for having me. Really appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, we're really excited to have you here.
Welcome. Thank you.
So
Yeah, it's great to be here.
yeah, and we're really excited. This is actually our 53rd episode. And
Nice.
Megan was talking about earlier, how is it that we have a Florida show and this is the first time we're talking about alligators?
It was bound to get there, wasn't it?
Right, yeah. All roads lead to an alligator here in Florida. So we're going to jump right into some of our questions. I actually got to thinking about alligators. I talked a little bit about this earlier in the show because there's been a lot of news articles as of late around people trying to go semi-pro in alligator wrangling, which is definitely not something that you want to do. But I would imagine that even the people with the best intentions have to start somewhere. So how did you get into alligator wrangling?
Is this your life in prison?
Really?
No, seriously. No. It's been a kind of family trait.
Okay.
My uncle was doing the work when I was in middle school. I guess I started helping him as a freshman in high school, and yeah, that's kind of how we got our start. It's been a family trait for a very long time.
I guess the next natural question would be, do you still have all your fingers and toes intact?
ma'am. Yeah, praise God, I have a pretty nice brand on top of these shoulders, and while not being the biggest guy, everybody has to find a different way of working with these animals. Especially if you've been working with them over time, and you find things that you can get away with without getting yourself hurt or putting the animal in danger. And once you've got that worked out, then it's being methodical, doing the same thing over and over again. While it be in different situations, you can handle things in a similar fashion, and it works out pretty well. But never taken a bite and have all my digits. Yeah,
That's
thank
good.
God.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
So it becomes like second nature to you.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's some people are into burning buildings, and some people catch bad guys, and some people play with alligators. It is what it is.
Something for everybody out there.
No doubt about it.
So what are some common misconceptions about alligators?
You hear the word aggressive all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I've caught thousands and thousands of alligators. So I've never met a single aggressive one.
Aw.
They can be conditioned. When people start feeding the fish and the turtles and everything else, and they
Right.
end up coming to you at that point, and people think the alligator's being aggressive. Well, no, you've been kind of an idiot, and you're feeding the animals, and what do you expect? They become accustomed to that kind of thing very quickly, and next thing you know, it's an alligator coming to you. That in nesting season. Nesting supposedly always makes them, nesting and mating always makes them aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as aggressive as anybody is when they're in love, right? I mean, it's just,
Right.
Right, of course.
if you're having an aggressive relationship, something's probably wrong.
Right.
It's not true at all. They're just more active those times of the year. It's a word that should never be used along with crocodilians of any sort.
Wow, I love that. Yeah, it's funny. The times that I've seen them, they're always just sunbathing, you know?
They're very chill.
Yeah, they're pretty much just hanging out.
They get a bad rap because they have a fancy smile that shows a lot of teeth.
Mm-hmm. That's funny.
So
They're always smiling.
So as a born and raised Floridian, in school we were actually taught a lot about alligators and biology and everything. And one of the things that was said was, if an alligator is chasing you, you run in a zigzag. Will that work?
That's one of the things I actually wrote about in my book. So, number one, alligator's not going to ever chase you. Number two, no, if you think about the way a zigzag works, if something's running after you in a straight line and you're running zigzags, you're making it easier for them to run a straight line and catch you.
Uh-huh.
There's less distance behind a straight line than there is zigzags. No,
Right.
It's the whole thing. I've heard people say, well, if you do that, they flip over on their backs. Well, you've apparently never seen an alligator move. He's not going to flip on his back.
So yeah,
This is not how it works.
the amount of times I've actually been up and close and personal with an alligator, I mean, yeah, they never have chased. They're very slow and everything. But turns out my teachers wanted all of us to die if they ever did chase us.
It's like a really long prank that all the teachers
really
have.
long prank, yeah.
I hear it so often, it's about ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, and I know we just met, but I'm pretty accident prone. And if I'm running in a zigzag, that's like 10 times more likely that I'm going to fall and bust
You
my
broke
buns.
both ankles by that point,
Right.
and then if the alligator's like, well, I don't have a choice but to do something.
Right,
What do
yeah.
I do now? Yeah,
I'm not going to waste
She's
this.
almost teasing me. She's
Right.
teasing me. Yeah.
That's funny. So Garrett's been born and raised in Florida, and Megan and I have lived in Florida for pretty much ever. And there's alligators a lot of places, but we have a lot of listeners that are tourists in Florida, and coming here, they might want to get to know one a little bit more, or maybe get to observe one. So where would you suggest that, whether you're a visitor, whether you're just on a staycation, that is a good place to observe or interact with alligators?
Your local wildlife refuge. Every county has different protected lands, and U.S. Fish and Wildlife has several areas around the state where you can go see them. Over here on our coast, it's the Merritt Island National Wildlife Refuge. The center part of the state, there's different areas over there, and there's different areas toward Tampa as well. But go to a wildlife preserve, and don't make the mistake of feeling like you have to have a wildlife interaction. You don't need to go pet the bunny rabbits or go caress the birds or whatever it might be. Stand back from a distance, watch them, enjoy them, and appreciate them doing their thing the way they're supposed to.
Yeah, we are based out of Naples, and we have the Corkscrew Swamp Sanctuary. I don't know if you've ever been there. But
I've heard of it.
Yeah, they have these big, expanse of wetlands that has like the lettuce on the
lettuce
water.
lake.
Yeah, and there's almost always baby alligators.
Yes.
It's pretty
My
awesome.
favorite
How
part.
far are you guys from Turkey Point?
I don't know where Turkey Point is.
yeah.
I don't know where that is.
Like the nuclear power plant? You guys
isn't
anywhere near that down there?
Is that in Fort Myers? I think it might be.
Homestead.
Is it Homestead? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well,
So
like
we're not
2
far from
hours.
that. Yeah. Depends on traffic.
Yeah.
Hour and a half, 2
I
hours.
caught a crocodile from there once.
Oh,
wow.
cool.
They'd actually made his way up to the Cocoa Beach Pier. That was a pretty interesting story.
Wow.
So that's my connection with South Florida at this point.
That's yeah. South Florida gets a little crazy, and I always forget that there's crocodiles here. How do you tell the difference?
Everything about them is pretty much different. They have an over and underbite. Their fourth tooth in the bottom's exposed. They're a different color. They're a different shape. Their osteoderms in their back are in different places. You see one next to the other one, you go, why in the world do people not
It's
understand the
obvious.
differences?
Right.
Oh,
Fear. Yeah. Are they
The whole
native?
reason the American crocodile is, and the whole reason the American alligator is protected is because of its similarity in look to the American crocodile. There's people that are experts that can't tell the difference. If you went and looked at them both side by side one time, you would know the difference.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
There's 1,000 pairs of American crocs in the state, so that's the whole reason the alligator is still on the protected list.
Interesting. That's so cool.
I'm full of weird information.
No, I love
No,
that.
that's
That's why
good.
you're here.
So what should people do if they actually see an alligator? Like, I mean, we have a lot of tourists. I mean, a lot of Floridians already know what they should probably do, but we have a lot of tourists here. What should they do?
Sit back and enjoy them. Sit back and enjoy them from a distance. If you come across the instance where one's on your front porch or one's walking across your driveway or at the door of your local supermarket or hospital or whatever it might be, because you name the situation, I've pretty much seen it.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is back off and give them some space. Everybody likes to crowd them, whether that be law enforcement or the locals in the area. Everybody wants to get the YouTube video. You just back off and give them space. They will move on. They just get turned around sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
The same way, we're walking out to our car. We forget where we park sometimes in the parking lot.
Yep.
It's the same thing. They just go, wow, okay. Was it A, B, C, or D? Well, let's try A and see if it works out. Nope. It was probably D.
And they don't have a cell phone that they can put their notes in, so that makes
100%.
perfect
They ain't
sense.
got the little beeper on the car to set the alarm off
Right,
either.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No opposable thumb. No opposable thumb.
right, just like the doggies. So we've talked a lot about where we can find them, where people can see them, which tells me that they play a pretty integral part in our ecosystem. So can you tell us a little bit more about why they're important and why we shouldn't be afraid?
Oh, this is a deep question, a good question too. So they're a keystone species, which means they themselves provide habitat, home, and food for pretty much everything else in the ecosystem. If something was to happen and there were no alligators in an area, you would see every other species dwindle. I mean, it's the same as a gopher tortoise, how a gopher tortoise provides commensals or homes for 300 and something other animals. The alligator has the same impact. There's hundreds of animals that depend on them daily to survive. That's not even getting into the health aspect of it. People don't realize that the American alligator and crocodilians in general, their endocrine system is a direct match for ours. So that means their prostate, thyroid, liver, kidney functions, and their hormones, their like reproductive hormones, are 99.5% the same as the humans.
Wow.
So what we do is we use that animal as a sentinel species for human health in the area. We'll go out, we'll catch them, we'll take blood, tissue, urine, and we'll analyze that for heavy metals, toxins, every methyl ethyl bad thing you can think of. Because them being an apex predator, eating everything, they're like a floating file. They're just there waiting for you to tell them. You take blood and they tell you everything that's happening in the local area. They're probably the eventual cure for cancer. Although AIDS is now a chronic disease and not a fatal disease, they're probably the eventual cure for AIDS.
Wow.
Their blood kills every known bacteria and virus on contact, including the HIV virus. I mean, they are probably the eventual cure for any kind of blood loss. They have a clotting factor that science still cannot understand. Just think if you had somebody out in the battlefield or in a bad accident and they lost an arm or a leg, and you had a way to clot that immediately,
Right.
which is what they can do. I mean, they can lose a tail, they can lose all their arms, they can
Right.
have lungs hanging out. and their blood will clot right then and there. I mean, it's like jelly as quick as it hits the air.
Wow.
There's so many things. We understand about a teaspoonful and, a 2,500 square foot house. I mean, they are so important. People just we take them for granted here in Florida, but they are a vital part of what we do for so many reasons. Yeah, if that didn't blow your minds, I don't know where
it did. I had no idea. I'm like, well, what are we waiting for? We got to get out there and study the alligators.
Well, that's what my nonprofit does.
Yeah, Ears, right? Is the name of it?
Yes, ma'am. Yep. That's what we do. I'm actually going into Belize here in a couple of weeks to start doing the same studies down there with them on American and Morelet's crocodiles. We do this here. We do it in North Carolina with NC State. It's quite the blessing, and at the same time, it really kind of makes you stand back and go, wow, we are really screwing up the earth.
Yeah.
We find a way to kind of screw up everything. And the fact that these animals are there waiting to tell you this stuff, and nobody until here, maybe the past 20 or 30 years has really started working with crocodilians. All this information's been there, and we just haven't reached out to grab it yet.
Yeah, I was looking into a lot of what you guys do with Ears, and I know that our listener base is always really supportive, especially when it comes to doing our part to help support the ecosystem. So what can anyone that's listening that's like, oh my gosh, I want to try to help however I can, how can they support Ears and what you're doing to study the alligators?
Yeah, they can go over to the website, which is eearss.org. It's Ears with an extra E and an extra S. And donate or buy. We have a couple of books on there. Fixing to have an audio book and some T-shirts. We got stickers on there too. Two different things. Or you can just hit the donate now button and donate to what we're doing. It's every little bit makes a difference. We do a lot of different biodiversity studies too on different properties around Brevard County over here where we're at. So it's just we're into a little bit of everything. Educational programs too for schools. Local governments, state governments do the same thing for NASA and DOD as well when they need educational programs, which happens a couple of times a year.
Yeah.
But we're kind of a little bit into all of it.
That's so awesome. Well, thank you.
As you can tell, it's something I enjoy talking about. It's been my life for so long, and it's part of who I am. I feel like, it's maybe a little bit strange to kind of know what the good Lord put you here, but I kind of, I know why I'm here.
You're like an alligator angel.
I don't know about all that, but
it's fine. You said I can call you whatever I want.
Yes, ma'am, you can. Sure thing. Yeah. I've never heard that one. I like that one too.
There you go.
Yeah.
It really is incredible. I had no idea their medical potential. I mean, I'm a Floridian, but I've always been kind of afraid of alligators. I just can't help it, especially when it comes into like going into fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
So like, as a tourist, if you're coming to visit, like, what should they know before they get into Florida waters?
Be aware. Just, a little bit of awareness, which, is asking quite a bit. A little bit of awareness is kind of the cure to all of it. Don't let fear ruin your trip, because as long as you're not out in a wilderness area in the middle of nowhere by yourself swimming, or you're not swimming early dawn or late dusk, you're going to be fine. There's plenty of better things to worry about. You're more likely to get struck by lightning and bit by a shark in the same day than have a bad alligator interaction.
Oh,
It's just not going to happen.
That's crazy. And there's been a lot of lightning. So yeah, just I think like you said, be aware is the best thing you can do in Florida. It's swampland. We weren't necessarily supposed to be here, but we are. So yeah, there's a lot that you can do to keep yourself safe.
You just got to expect every body of water. Just assume, everybody always says assuming's bad, but in this case, just assume and be aware and you'll be fine.
I agree. I grew up on the Caloosahatchee River, so even that goes right into the Gulf of Mexico, you're still seeing alligators even in there.
Mm-hmm.
There's plenty of better things to worry about than having a bad alligator interaction.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's not the way the good Lord made them.
No.
Yep.
I have another question, and it's pretty dark and maybe a little alarming, but I've been listening to a lot of crime podcasts.
Dark and alarming.
Dark and
Megan
alarming. Is both dark and alarming.
If someone were to dispose of a body in an alligator swamp,
my goodness,
would it leave no trace? Like, would they just eat a dead body?
And she's not asking because she's trying to dispose. This is just
I'm so
You're
sorry.
starting a nuisance people program. I got you. It's funny you asked that because I actually did an interview with one of the crime shows not too long ago where a lady and her lover killed her husband and tried to drop him out in the middle of a lake and have a bunch of alligators eat him up in Gainesville somewhere. It didn't work out the way they wanted it to, but it depends on the time of the year. It depends on how long the body's been sitting there. You're not just going to be able to drop a body off somewhere and expect an alligator to eat it. That's just not the way they work. Everything would chew on it. If you
Right.
it doesn't quite work that way.
Right.
You can't just go drop a body off somewhere and expect it to be gone. That's not how it works.
Just
It's
so
a short answer.
Right.
Short answer.
just so you know, if you notice that I'm not around,
yeah, then you'll know what
we
happened.
check
Yeah. Check.
Look
Check
for you
an
in a pond
alligator
somewhere.
Right.
Copy that. Yeah.
yeah. So
There you
You'd be
go.
surprised that stuff like that happens. Sadly,
Yeah.
more often than we probably know. People we are pretty dark sometimes
And
It's
alarming.
sad. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Dark and alarming. You
On-
did call it.
Right.
You did call it.
I mean, on to a lighter note.
Yeah.
Tell us the story of Chance the Snapper.
Yeah, I'm really excited to hear the details of this.
Yeah, it's kind of a story that changed my life. Try to keep the emotions in here because it's an emotional story for me. But so I guess 2 years ago, 2 years and a couple of weeks ago, I was sitting at the house. I'd been out catching alligators all morning. Get a phone call from a lady in Chicago that had asked me if I heard this story about this alligator up in Chicago. And I said, yeah, I think I saw that on TV. Yeah, I think I saw it. Well, how would you do what we're doing up here differently? And so the story goes, there was a gator up there in a local park called Humboldt Park. It was kind of swimming around, enjoying the place. Somebody had dropped him in. He was soaking up the Chicago vibes. So that they called me because they were having zero success catching this alligator. Asked me, well, what would you do differently? And I said, pretty much everything. I do everything you were doing differently. They said, well, can you come up here and help us? Can you give us a price on what it would cost us? And I'm like, well, okay, I don't know what you charge for something like that. I don't know.
Right.
I said, I'll come up there and get it done for, I don't know. I gave them a price, and about 10 minutes later, they said, well, when can you be here? I said, it's Saturday morning. I said, I guess I can be there. Monday. Well, no, we're going to need you here tomorrow morning.
Ooh.
I said, okay. So I get on the
Overtime
plane. Oh, I guess I get on the plane. I fly up there, and the place is literally crazy. There's helicopters flying around.
Wow.
There's about it's a park on the kind of the southwest side of Chicago. There's helicopters buzzing around. There's about a dozen news crews. There's a mariachi band playing.
Oh my goodness.
There's food trucks. There's all kinds of people selling T-shirts. And I mean, everything you could possibly think of, it was happening. And maybe 5,000 people walking around looking for this alligator.
Wow.
And I kind of went, what in the world is going on right now? Like, this is one of the craziest situations I've ever walked myself into. They said, well, what do you want us to do? I said, well, because they have everybody, I asked for everybody that was kind of in charge of that area to meet me there. So the chief of the police department from that side, fire, emergency management, everything, they all met
like
me
it's
there.
Godzilla.
Yeah. Well, they didn't. What's so cool about it is they didn't. They don't have stuff like that up there,
Right.
and people weren't afraid. They were literally just overtaken by joy
Aw.
with something like this in the city. The city officials were kind of panicked because they were worried about liability.
Right.
But the people who lived there were like, "Oh my gosh, we have a chance to go see an alligator. Let's go to the park and check it out." You wish Florida people down here would feel that way,
Right.
but it's a whole different story. But so I got up there. I kind of looked around the place. I said, "Listen, I need you to turn all the lights off around the pond." Well, it's a lake. I mean, it's a probably 2 square mile park. It's all water. It's a big place. So they turned all the lights off for me. The police department kind of ringed the place off overnight, put fences and barricades up around the whole place, and they had cops stationed around the whole outside. Somebody would come in. It was really something else. First night I was there, I caught the alligator.
Nice.
worked it out. Was able to. I speak pretty fluent crocodilian, so I was able to call him out of where he was hiding and catch him. And they asked me after I called him and said, what would you like to do while you're in Chicago? So, I've always just wanted to go to Wrigley Field. I think it'd be cool to see a Cubs game.
Heck yeah!
And this is like 3:00 in the morning. I take it. It's 3 in the morning.
Jeez.
And about 10 minutes later, a lady comes back and she goes, "Well, how do you feel about throwing out the first pitch of the Cubs game?"
Oh my
yes.
God!
That sounds pretty epic. Yeah, I would enjoy that.
Oh my
gosh. Yeah, that kind of started a domino effect. That is still going on. I'm actually going up to Chicago Wednesday to do a charity event. That city has embraced me unlike anything you could ever really quite imagine. Sorry, I'm trying to pull back tears while talking about it, but I kind of didn't understand at the point. I knew I was there to save an alligator. I didn't really understand a whole lot more than that. I've pretty much done media and done different things for everybody up there, with everybody up there, and I found out, I guess in November, that I needed heart surgery. Man, pull it together, Frank. And believe it or not, I didn't have any insurance. I've never been able to afford that. I'm not a rich guy. The city of Chicago actually funded my heart surgery for me.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was 4 months ago. I had open heart surgery. I had a valve repaired and had a chest repair from when I was younger. And they ended up raising enough money to cover the whole bill for me. And it's been like I said, when I say it's been an emotional story, it really has. It just
wow, what a ride!
Quite a bit. I'm trying to hold it together. Sorry.
Well,
can't cry on a podcast.
Of course you can. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy how we always say when you do the right things are going to come back to you. And think of all the alligators that you've saved over your life, and now alligators saved you. That's pretty wild.
100%. Yeah, that's the same story I was telling you. It's you go save an alligator in Chicago. Next thing you know, the city and the alligator save you. It's a true story. I that would have been I think the total bill from that surgery was $770,000, and
whoa!
They raised enough through a GoFundMe page to allow me to settle with the hospital, and it was
incredible.
Pretty amazing. Yeah, a lot more than me going on there. I say that all the time.
Wow.
It's you ain't got to be a person of faith to kind of notice sometimes when something is a lot more than you, and this is all a lot more than me. I believe it's the good Lord working it out for me. Everybody can believe what they want to, but that's where I'm at with it. It's too many coincidences to believe elsewhere, and I don't need to believe anything else.
Can I get an amen?
Is what it is.
Amen, man.
I love it.
Yep.
Wow, we're at church now on a Thursday night. I love it. This is great.
It's even crazier than that. I actually accepted the Lord in my life 7 years of the day from going up there in Chicago. So it just the whole thing just kind of came a whole round interesting circle. You understand why you're put in positions and put in places sometimes, and it's that's the whole story to it. But
that is so beautiful, and that's how we found you. We were researching, trying to find an alligator expert. That would have some cool stories to tell. I see Chance the Snapper and with a Cubs shirt on, and I'm like, "Who's this guy from Chicago?" Thinking he's an alligator expert. And then when I researched a little bit more, we found you, and so it's all obviously. I'm sure you've been able to influence so many people since since meeting Chance the Snapper. But we were so happy to have you on talking to us.
I just realized Chance the Snapper is because it's Chicago.
Yeah, because Chance the Rapper,
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah.
Okay.
That whole story's been special in other ways too. Because like you're saying, you don't hear a whole lot of good stories about alligators,
right?
And this was the rare story you hear about an alligator that's good, and it went super loud the way it did.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been able to go up there and, on top of that, do animal rescue events for Chicago Animal Care and Control, get a bunch of animals adopted, find a bunch of homes for, a bunch of animals that otherwise probably wouldn't still be here. The whole thing's it's giving back to everybody. And that's what I told them originally when it all worked out. I said, we don't find a way to bless as many people as we possibly can with this story. We have really, really screwed up. So that's where I've been with the thing the whole time. Somebody asks me for an interview, wants to talk to me. I never tell anybody no. I'll talk to anybody about anything, anytime they want to.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And we are so happy that you spent some time here with us tonight. And I'm sure people are going to be like, oh my gosh, we have to know more about Alligator Frank and what he's doing. So tell us where our followers and our listeners can find you on social media and learn a little bit more about Ears again.
Yeah, I'm at on all social media at Alligator Robb, ROBB, 2 B's. And you can find us at ears.org. It's EEARSS.org. On Facebook, it's Ears by Alligator Robb. We'll be doing some events here coming up over here on the East Coast, but that'll all be put on our Facebook page or on our website as it comes. But yeah, if there's businesses that are looking for somebody to sponsor or people looking for a good cause to donate to, we could sure use the help.
Perfect. Well, I'm sure that people are going to be checking you guys out even more now. And thank you so much again for coming on. And we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate you all very much. Thank you guys for having me.
Well, he was a toot.
Yeah, he was.
Toot of all toots.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Well, okay. I need a break. That alligator conversation got me a little warm and hot. And then when we get back, we're going to be talking a little bit more specifically about where you can see some alligators on your next trip. Hang tight. Okay, Garrett, it's time for bed.
No. Wait. Can you tell me a story first?
All right, one story, and then it's nighty-night for you. Do you remember the one about Meggie Locks and the 3 cocktails?
Oh my gosh, I love this one.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Meggie Locks. She went for a walk on the beach. Pretty soon, she came upon a tiki bar. She sat down in the bar, and immediately she was served 3 beautiful cocktails. Meggie Locks can never resist a free drink. She tasted the first one and realized the straw was plastic.
No, plastic is terrible for the environment. I can't drink this.
So, she tasted the second drink.
Gross. The straw's all soggy, and all I taste is paper.
So, she tasted the last cocktail.
This hay straw is perfect.
She said happily and enjoyed the rest of her delicious margarita. Well, Garrett, what's the moral of the story?
That when you use hay straws, all natural, 100% biodegradable, gluten-free, and never soggy straws, you're actually doing your part to help take care of our planet. They can be tossed right in the compost bin after and will break down naturally and return to the circle of life.
That's right, big guy.
Good night, Steph.
Good night, Garrett. We can all sleep a little easier thanks to hay straws. Visit haystraws.com to find out more. That was sharp, right? I brought it back quick.
Nice.
Like that.
Cricket's over here like, I don't want to be eaten by an alligator. We didn't ask him anything about do alligators like chihuahuas.
Oh my god, protect your dogs.
Yeah.
That does happen.
ProtectYourDogs.com.
That guy that like ripped it out of the alligator's mouth.
That's right.
Yeah, that.
But dogs are a lot more similar to prey than a human is.
Like otters.
Yeah.
Do we want to go there?
No.
Okay.
Yep. So I've got a question for you guys. Have you even been to Florida if you haven't seen an alligator? Huh?
Imagine
Am I right?
coming to Florida for the first
Yeah.
time and not seeing one. Like, what a waste of a trip.
Right. Like, do you think that they're just everywhere?
They are
Yeah.
everywhere.
Right.
We got.
Are
we
you
got,
asking like the people that have never been?
Right.
We got one in the.
But like, they're not like at the gas station, but they could be.
Well, yeah.
But
We
they're
got
not.
one in the neighborhood we're building right now.
Yeah, I believe that.
And you won't find them in every single body of water. Like, they might be
But
there.
they could be.
But they are hard to find. Definitely, like Alligator Robb said, to go to like a wildlife preserve or a sanctuary
totes.
where they can like really live their best life. You'll
Yeah.
find them.
Yeah.
No, it's and that's actually a subject we always, because we have a lot of homeowners that are from like not Florida. It's their first time living here, and we're like, just letting you know, you're living on a lake. There will be alligators.
There will be. Yeah,
don't
and just chill.
allow your animals to chill.
Right. Just don't put your like hamster out there and everything's fine.
Yeah.
You know? But if you check out visitflorida.com, there's actually a whole page dedicated to the most popular places to see alligators. There's Everglades National Park. Mm-hmm. Have you guys been there?
No.
Yeah, I actually, me and one of my friends, when we went in 3rd grade or 4th grade, we counted the amount of alligators we saw, and we probably saw even more, but like the ones we were able to count on the bus and when we were at the Everglades, it was over 200.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, looks like the main entrance is actually in Homestead, and that leads to the Flamingo Visitor Center, and you can see alligators from the walking trails, and I think there's some different like ways you can get out into the Everglades, like the, what do you call it, the airboats?
Airboats.
You'll see alligators. That's
cool.
pretty cool. And then there's a highway, Interstate 75, which us Floridians call...
I-75?
Nope.
Alligator Alley.
That's the one. Yep. Alligator Alley. Wait for it. Alligator Alley. There it is. Megan, why is it called Alligator Alley?
Because exactly what you would expect. You see alligators
mad
all
alligators.
along the alley. There's like a fence, and then right beyond the fence is like
Alligators.
marsh area. And
Yeah.
It's just alligators.
You see them chilling. You usually only see them when they're sunbathing, but they do enjoy a good sunbathing. So
Oh, yeah.
You'll see them often.
There's actually water that runs on both sides of the interstate. So if you're not the driver, but any of the passengers, you can just stare at the banks and you'll just see them. You'll see them out.
Yeah, don't stare while driving.
Yeah. And they're like, I think they're not camouflaged per se, but they're not
But
quite as
yeah.
easy to spot as you would
Yeah.
think. They're like a dark,
They're not
almost
like
black.
They're not
color.
green
They
like
do
what
look-
people
Yeah, they're
say
not
they
green
are.
like a cartoon.
They're not really black, but they do look black, especially
Yeah.
next to like the lush greenery.
Right. And I think it's a little bit easier to spot them when it's cooler out because they'll get out of the water, to get sun. And you see them sunbathing a little bit more.
Carol Baskin.
Huh? What a great name for a sunbathing alligator. Let's see, where else? It says here anywhere in the Everglades, so even like Corkscrew Swamp, like we talked about, is part of the Everglades. There's as many as 200,000 alligators in the Everglades.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you only saw 200 of them.
Yeah.
200 of the 200,000. And then there's this other place. You might remember it from our Skunk Ape episode with Skunk Ape Dave. So not only can you find the skunk ape here, but you can also find a lot of alligators at Myakka River State Park.
Camped there once.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you see either an alligator or a skunk ape?
Did not see skunk ape. Saw many alligators.
Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense because there's not as many skunk apes as there
Do
are
you
alligators.
think like
Yeah.
they like have like a mutual respect for each other, the skunk ape and
Oh,
the alligator?
totally.
Right?
Yeah,
They vibe.
absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. They probably do like weird stuff. Like, how sometimes you'll see, what the heck is it? Like, wait, you see like a duck riding an elephant or
Yes,
something.
yes,
like you
yes.
might see a skunk ape water skiing on two alligators.
I have seen it.
Have you even been to Florida if you haven't
I
seen
think skunk apes,
skunk
though,
ape?
That should be a sticker.
I could even see skunk apes being scared of alligators because I think skunk apes are a lot more like they're not as like brave as you'd expect. I think they're a little
Skunk
bit-
apes?
I think they're
Yeah.
little bitches.
They're excuse me, don't call them little bitches. That's
Well,
rude.
well.
They're definitely cautious because if they weren't, we would
Like,
be
oh,
seeing
I
them
don't
all
want to
the
be
time.
seen.
Yeah.
And if
Like
you
church.
haven't like picked it up from this conversation yet, Steph, Garrett, and I wholeheartedly believe that the skunk ape is real. It's not a matter of
Oh, it
if,
is
Why
it's
we
just-
don't have to believe it's real. We know
Dave
it's
said.
real.
Dave
Right.
said if you go back to
He goddamn was
episode
there.
insert whatever episode number it was, check out the skunk ape episode. Dave tells us unequivocally that skunk apes are real,
They
where
are.
you can find them, and I don't care. I'm pretty sure he said like I don't care if you care that
I
I,
live
know
here.
that they're real. I
Right.
live here and I see them. So if you want to know more about that, I recommend listening to the skunk ape episode.
It's a long one.
It is a long one, but totally worth it. And then there's some alligator attractions. I don't know if you've ever been to Gatorland. I have not.
Me neither.
Maybe. I don't know.
Garrett, you have been there because your mom said that you have.
Oh, I guess I
Your
have.
mom said you went
We
to
talked
Gatorland.
about another episode, and you said you haven't been there, but like you have. Like, I mean,
So I
Gosh,
have
you don't
been there.
appreciate anything she does for you. You know?
Yeah, it was.
I said
What
you
was
neither.
that? I
yeah.
thought you were gonna sneeze.
Yeah.
Like,
Something's going on here.
Anyway.
And then there's a place called the St. Augustine Alligator Farm Zoological Park where you can zip line over alligators and crocodiles.
that's pretty cool.
That
and
is
you
cool.
can like release whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, just right onto the, and then you can also water ski with an alligator. Totally kidding. And then there's another popular mini golf conglomerate
Alligator Golf
called Smuggler's Cove Adventure Golf. They have 5 locations around Florida.
Oh, yeah, there's one in...
Conglomerate? I'm not sure if that's the right word.
That is the official word for when you have 5 or more mini golf courses.
There's one in going down close to Fort Myers Beach.
Yeah, they're all over the west coast of Florida. They have large ponds of baby gators.
What
lots
happens when
of...
they get big?
I don't know.
Do they stay big?
This might be one of those things that Alligator Robb is like, don't support them. We should have asked. And their round of after a round of mini golf, you can feed the alligators, and that might. Yeah, I don't know. You can feed the alligators. Where else can you? There's another place you can feed the alligators. The Shell Factory in Fort Myers. Yeah. If you haven't been there, that's cool. They actually take in a lot of exotic pets that people are like, either have passed away and their family members don't want to take care of them, or you get into something with bad decision making and you realize you can't actually take care of it, and
that's more accurate.
Yeah, and it's a pretty cool place to see rehomed pets. And alligators.
Just before I forget, Alligator Robb gave me some Steve Irwin vibes
with his passion.
But for alligators.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I did not hear an accent.
No, not because he's
sweet, like love for the animals.
Yeah,
it gave me some Steve Irwin vibes.
How could you work with animals like that, especially all your life, and then native animals, and not just fall in love with them?
And to like know them on a level that no one else like understands.
Right.
Like, people obviously have so many misconceptions, and he just feels like he has to be their advocate because he knows them so well.
Skunk Ape Dave too.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're so important, And I know that's kind of like my go-to question when we're talking about native wildlife. So when we talk to the Save the Manatee Club, when we talk to Skunk Ape Dave, when we now talk to Alligator Frank, it's like, what is happening in the ecosystem that you can't even understand? That if you don't protect the coral, you don't protect the manatees, you don't protect the alligators, what's going to happen? And he blew my mind with some of that stuff. But it's like, come here or live here, respect it, and it'll take care of you. Right?
Exactly.
I love it. What a magical episode this was.
It was delightful.
Yeah, right. Do you have any final thoughts about alligators?
It's always in the back of your mind when you're in a freshwater thing, or body of water. Why do I say
a freshwater thing? Like a conglomerate of water?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's always in the back of your mind, but nothing's ever happened before, and it's reassuring.
I've water skied in lakes where I've seen alligators. I've gone, not base jumping. That's too extreme.
Base jumping?
But diving. There's always alligators everywhere. I've never heard of or seen anyone get hurt by one, or even like approached by one.
And I think it's the same kind of whole thing as sharks too. Right. Like it is. I think it's a case of mistaken identity a lot of the time.
And I think it's the same things that the things that you hear
or you're
about,
in their territory.
The things that you hear about are the things that you remember are the scary things. Like I think
sensationalized.
About how they like clamp down and they do like a death roll and they simultaneously drown you and break all the bones in your body.
Nobody wants that to happen.
And that's like, to me, that's what I think about as death roll. Alligator death roll. Not, their blood freaking clots at a level that we've never seen. It could save lives. Like, that's news.
Right.
That's important.
It's almost like alligators are not so much Steve Irwin, but Chuck Norris.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I get that.
One thing I think we should have asked him, and I kind of wish I did, was about the overpopulation of pythons and how that's hurting.
Great question, Garrett. I came up with...
Jeez, part 2.
I had it in my head. I was like, I don't want to steer from the script.
No, we love going off script.
What script?
Yeah, there's no script. We wing this start to finish. Anyway, don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. And thank you for tuning in to Just a Podcast in Paradise. We're so happy that you took time to hang out with us. We would love it if you would subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And be sure to leave us a 5-star review if you enjoyed your time with us tonight. If you're looking for a way to show us some love and copies of every week's cocktail recipe, check out our Patreon so we can continue to work hard to make your next Florida vacation the most memorable trip that you've ever had. You can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Just Take a Dip for daily updates on what's happening around Florida, and check out our YouTube channel, Just a Day in Paradise, for destination ideas, restaurant reviews, unboxing things you might want to take on your next trip, and copycat recipes from some of our favorite places in paradise. We're wishing you a little bit of sunshine wherever you are, and we hope to see you in paradise soon. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Even Chooch is saying goodbye.
Bye, Chooch.
Oh, wait, you know the sound that baby alligators make? It's like... Bye, all you baby alligators out there.
Bye, you baby